storms approaching the waters. The areas affected include Lake Erie from Ripley to Sturgeon Point at 9:35 p.m. Doppler radar indicated an area of strong thunderstorms 38 miles west of Niagara River, moving southeast at 30 knots. These storms are expected to reach the New York waters of Lake Erie at 10 p.m. and could produce wind gusts of 35 knots or higher. Locations impacted include Van Buren Point, Lake Erie Beach, Barcelona, Sturgeon Point, Dunkirk, Ripley, and Sunset Bay. These storms could produce winds gusts to 35 knots or higher and could pose a serious hazard for boaters. A special marine warning may eventually be required when these storms reach the waters. Boaters should consider heading for shore before the storms arrive. Intense lightning is occurring with these storms. If caught on the open water, stay below deck if possible. Keep away from ungrounded metal objects. The 10 p.m. weather at Buffalo, a thunderstorm was reported. The temperature was
Where we at?
The National Weather Service in Buffalo has issued a special marine warning for Lake Erie from Ripley to Sturgeon Point until midnight. At 10:22 p.m., strong thunderstorms were located along a line extending from 11 miles west of Grand Island to 24 miles northwest of Lake Erie Beach to 29 miles northwest of Van Buren Point, moving southeast at 30 knots. Hazard, wind gusts 34 knots or greater. Source, radar. Impact, small craft could be damaged and briefly higher winds and suddenly higher waves. Locations impacted include Van Buren Point, Lake Erie Beach, Barcelona, Sturgeon Point, Dunkirk, Ripley, and Sunset Bay. Move to safe harbor immediately as gusty winds and high waves are expected. Continuous lightning is occurring with these storms. If caught on the open water, stay below deck if possible. Keep away from ungrounded metal objects.
Severe thunderstorm watch likely. We have a severe thunderstorm watch. Super likely.
Strong thunderstorms approaching the waters. The areas affected include Lake Erie from Ripley to Sturgeon Point at 9:35 p.m. Doppler radar indicated an area of strong thunderstorms 38 miles west of Niagara River, moving southeast at 30 knots. These storms are expected to reach the New York waters of Lake Erie after 10:30 p.m. and could produce wind gusts of 35 knots or higher. Locations impacted include Van Buren Point, Lake Erie Beach, Barcelona, Sturgeon Point, Dunkirk, Ripley, and Sunset Bay. These storms could produce winds